I want to talk a little bit about Gary Andasangari and his gun. If you're going to pick a guy to put in charge of this gun buyback program, this is not the guy. Chipmunk Cheeks is not your man.
Law-abiding citizens abide by the law. We launched a program this week to support those who are law-abiding Canadians to be able to give their AR-15s and other prohibited weapons in order to obtain compensation, Mr. Speaker. It's a fair way to treat law-abiding citizens. It's about ensuring that our streets are safer. It is in line with the work that we're doing at the border with $1.3 billion in investments. Bill C2, which is before the House today, as well as adding another 1,000 CBSA and RCMP officers.
Okay, yeah, something like that. Gun buyback program. I mean, how does the government buy back something that they didn't have anything to do with in the first place? They are just going to be uh retrieving, they are going to be demanding, they are going to be you're going to have to give it back, and they might throw a little bit of money at you. And whose money is that? It's the taxpayer money in the first place. And so the federal government announced Tuesday it was moving ahead with a pilot program for individual gun owners who want to receive compensation for prohibited firearms, while the minister responsible for the policy came under increasing fire. The Liberals announced the pilot as a way to test the process for compensating gun owners who possess one of the 2,500 firearms the government has banned, by starting a program in the Cape Breton area with the cooperation of its local police. I mean, somehow we like to bend over backwards and please Quebec. The liberal Quebec, we just like bend over for a province that wanted to separate from us anyway. But anyway, Tuesday's announcement came one day after audio of Public Safety Minister Gary Anandasangari was circulated to the media, which showed the minister in a private conversation casting doubt that local police would be able to enforce the program, and saying that Liberal voters in Quebec were a major reason for why Carney's government was sticking with the policy. Oh my God. He was busted. He was caught saying that. There's no denying it. But it just, after all the things that happened at the ostrich farm with the police like bullying you, and with all the break-ins that have been going on, with all the crime that's been going on, I'm not a gun person. I don't want to really have a gun. I know I have a lot of friends that feel differently. They like their guns. Men like their guns, and that's okay. But so guns are not my thing. But you again feel vulnerable. You feel like you have no power. You feel like if the police, if those First Nations had not come in and there had not been that legal document to say bugger off, the police would have bullied you and bullied you. And if they could, honestly, if they had horses in Ottawa, they would have elephants in Edgewood. They would trample you if they could. They don't seem to care. This sort of authoritarian mindset has been ingrained into them, and they see every protester as a ne'er-do-well conspiracy theorist, right? So you don't feel protected in that way. You don't feel like you're in a safe country. And now they want to buy back your guns that they never bought in the first place. So that's another option you have to not protect yourself. What are you going to protect yourself with around here? A butter knife? And is this even legal? Is this even legal to do at all? Somebody sent me a video of this guy who I'd never heard of, but he has quite an interesting channel. Okay, this is Ian Runkle. He's got a YouTube channel. He's a Canadian criminal defense and firearms lawyer, and here is what he had to say.
Sleight of hand that he's engaging in. Now, this appears to be a new Liberal talking point, because we've heard this also from the public safety minister, and it's just not honest. It's just not accurate, and it is intended to deceive the public. So let's have a look.
Prominent gun control groups urging you to act swiftly on election promises on firearms. Meantime, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith went on the record at one of her recent Alberta Next town halls. I'm sure you've been briefed on it, saying that all levels of government and police within the province, including RCMP, have been instructed not to participate in any gun confiscation. What do you intend to do on the firearms file specifically? And what do you make of Premier Smith's position?
I'm not going to the exact quote. Maybe I'll leave the quote aside, but I'll pick up one word there: confiscation. This is not about confiscation. This is about voluntary return of firearms for compensation of these firearms, and we'll run a process. Look, we'll have different processes in different provinces. I respect the decision of the province of Alberta, and
I'm going to interrupt here.
I was going to interrupt too because Mark Carney is like a human sleeping pill. But let's hear what Ian has to say.
When he says it's a voluntary process, that is not true. And when he says that they don't intend to engage in confiscation, that is also not true. And we don't see the host push back on this at all, which is unfortunate because this is a massively dishonest statement.
We're not confiscating guns. People aren't going around confiscating guns. That is anyone who says that is a mischaracterization. What it is an opportunity for Canadians to return.
Let's forward ahead a bit and see what the guy says.
Weapons of,
mass
serious
destruction.
weapons, we'll put it that way.
So that's quite the statement there. He says, we're not confiscating anything. We're giving people the opportunity to return firearms in order to get compensation. Well, first of all, it's not a return because these things were never obtained from the government.
Exactly.
But when he says it's voluntary, it is completely not voluntary. They have noted that if you do not turn in these firearms, and it's incredibly dangerous when we have the Prime Minister going on and making statements like it's voluntary, because if any Canadian gun owner watches the Prime Minister and says, oh, well, this is a guy I can trust, it's voluntary, I don't have to do it, then they could actually be putting themselves in incredible legal and actual physical danger. This is completely irresponsible, and the way he's presenting this to the public.
I mean, he later goes on to say that the cops could come to your house. They could, if you don't voluntarily give this stuff up, they will come and they will take it. I mean, I don't know if it's going to get that far, but the optics sure don't look good. So Mark Carney says people don't need an AR-15 to hunt. The BuyBack program is voluntary, and banning these guns will make our streets safer. Okay, Mark Carney, this guy, Government EXE is saying Mark Carney wants Canadians unarmed and defenseless like a bunch of ostriches. No kidding.
What the government is doing with the gun registry is putting in place a much more efficient way for Canadians to voluntarily return prohibited firearms.
But that's the key word there. They're prohibited. The government has decided to prohibit these weapons.
For fair compensation. This government is going to do it right.
Oh, this is just such a Trudeau thing. Oh, let's see what Pierre had to say.
But his own Minister of Public Safety says this government is doing it wrong. He was caught on tape saying the program won't work, and yet they are going to rip $750 million away from our border and police services to harass duck hunters.
That is true. 750 million. I did read that.
And farmers by banning the firearms they use.
Farmers, duck hunters using AR-15s to hunt. I don't see that in my great province of Alberta.
And there, the Prime Minister just admitted that he doesn't even know what his gun ban applies to.
That's right.
For example, this gun ban applies to 10 and 12 gauge shotguns, which are used by the great people of Alberta and all Canadians for duck hunting. It applies to
that's right. It's not AR-15s. It's like hunting arms too. Okay, so according to officials, affected gun owners have the option to either apply for compensation, have their weapon deactivated, or turn it over to the police. This doesn't sound voluntary to me. Negotiations with police services about participating in the program are still ongoing, the official said, adding the government would be communicating with licensed firearm owners about their options and details for the compensation program. Should they fail to act on the above options by the end of the amnesty period, they could face penalties under the criminal code or have their license revoked. Oh boy. This is not good. This is not good. Oh my Lord. Oh my word. Maybe the natives can step in and help this. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, you got to be on your toes if you're living in Canada. You got to keep on your toes. As always, good to spend time with you. Let me know what you think in the comments. All right. If you like my YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel. Anita K is how you can find me on YouTube. You have yourselves a great evening, and I will catch you in the next video. Good night.